my name is Jordan Officer, and here's the second part of a very fun moment that I got to spend with one of my favorite guitar players, Steve Hill. Steve has a new record coming out called Dear Illusion, and here's what we talked about. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is your slide playing, because there's a lot of it on your records, and slide guitar, to me, it's like, as a guitar player, obviously with feedback and volume, you can get some of that voice-like and sustain and voice elements and bending, but the only way that a guitar can really get close to a human voice is with the slide, and so there's something about each guitar player who plays with a slide, what their vibrato is, how their phrasing is, that becomes super personal, and also there's who we got our language from, which slide players gave us our particular kind of vibrato that ends up being super personal, and I'd love to talk about that.
Let me just tune it to open A. So this is open A. There's a little difference. Usually open A has an E on the big string, but I put the fourth, so I got the D there. So I got 1, 4, 5 on the bass strings. So, as a slide guitar player, I really, I bought King of the Delta Blues Singers, Robert Johnson, when I was 16, and that blew my mind. And I got into Muddy Waters also at the same time, and I was listening to Johnny Winter, and then, all the great slide players. I got into Sonny Landreth for a while.
Yeah, well, I noticed that.
Yeah, which has become very popular nowadays. There's a bunch of guys doing killer stuff like that.
I definitely hear Muddy Waters. That's one of the things that I know. In like the.
That's a muddy lick on the 5 and the 4. They're just classic riffs.
Yeah, that's really slick.
I love the rhythm stuff you can do in open tuning.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think I was always too lazy to have a second guitar, and so I did end up developing somewhat of a language in standard tuning. And actually, the Muddy playing in standard tuning, him and also Earl Hooker plays quite a bit of slide in standard tuning.
Such a great player.
And they were like real models for how to use what's there, because you don't have as much, but you have this, and you have that, and you have the flat third, which you don't have in the. And so that Muddy, I remember them. Yeah, those were good classes on how to play standard tuning slide.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have a second guitar just for that. But if I did want to play slide, I had to be able to just whip it out quickly and do a few things, But
I can play a bit in standard tuning, but I don't know. I started using these open tunings when I was 15. There was this article in Guitar Player or something like that on all these tunings, and they gave some of those classic licks, and I remember that day very well. Tuning my guitar to open G and picking up the slide, and it's like a whole world.
Yeah, it really is another world. Yeah, I mean, I do it on the lap steel. That's sort of where my standard my open tuning life exists.
I play a bit of pedal steel, but
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well,
It's
pedal
really
steel
hard.
is also another universe.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, in a way, pedal steel is easier because you're not doing as many slants
Yeah,
and stuff because the
that's
pedals
true.
do it. So,
But it's like- yeah.
that part.
It's very abstract.
Yeah. I feel like the straight man in like a comedy duo.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you talk about Robert Johnson and even Muddy Waters, like and in their side playing, the rhythm part is so much like swing, like Freddie Green.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same voicings, but
Simpler, but there's definitely
it's
that.
like it's their version of that music that was on the radio.
Do you know the lazy five?
No.
Like when you're at E and you go to. Or you go.
Yeah.
Jimmy Reed.
Yeah.
Jimmy Reed was the king of those shuffles.
Okay.
It's always the same thing, but they're all very catchy tunes. It's always. And he was drunk all the time, so he didn't want to. He didn't want to go like. That's why they call it a lazy five. I love the sound of it.
Yeah. You just need something down there. That's the closest thing you got.
That's it.
Your vibrato on the slide. Do you have because like I said, I hear Muddy Waters. I hear also Dwayne Allman. Was he an influence?
Huge influence.
Yeah. Can you play me just a little bit of your vibrato? I just want to hear.
Yeah.
Mine's different because I play over the top. I never.
I'm in standard now. I haven't played it in years. You could do that. Not good at it. I never played.
That's cool, though.
Slide in standard.
I never tried that.
It's pretty wide.
It's a wide vibrato.
And kind of slow. I try to.
Yeah. Whereas Muddy has a more choppy kind of faster and he doesn't necessarily keep it sustaining. It sort of dies and it has that sort of crapping out sound to it. But yeah, that's really nice fluid vibrato. And yeah, mine is I play over the top, so it's a different motion.
Yeah.
Like, and I always felt more comfortable just letting my wrist.
Because you came from playing lap steel?
No, because I hadn't even touched a lap steel.
Okay.
Just when I played slide, for some reason I did it that way, and it was easier for me to be fluid.
Okay.
Like that, like.
That sounds like Muddy.
Yeah.
Like in his early recordings.
He's probably the biggest influence on my slide playing.
Mm-hmm.
Elmore too, like. But. And yeah, later lap steel for sure, and like even Hawaiian music, like. And that's a more wide vibrato and sort of like. It doesn't work so good on an arch top, but I was never able to get it fluid. I always felt like stiff in my arm, like trying to get it to be.
That's because you were doing it with this, and you keep hurting yourself.
That's the first bottle that my father broke over my head, and learned to play guitar with it. Made lemonade from. I'd love to try your guitar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we do that? Do you play as much on the neck pickup as the treble pickup?
No, I'm usually always on the treble pickup.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I haven't played tellies in a long time. That's like my first, not my first guitar, but it's the guitar that I used on my first album and all that. And I didn't use it for about 20 years. And it's become my favorite guitar again. But for the past, I don't know, close to 20 years, I was playing Gibsons and mostly juniors. I love guitars with one P90, just one P90, just one pickup.
Or I've seen you with a Flying V, I'm pretty sure. Or
I had a few Flying Vs that I used for alternate tunings.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to buy like 6 Les Pauls and the Flying Vs were cheaper and they were cool. But especially the last 10 years, it was the P90s. Yeah. When I started the solo recording stuff, I was playing an ES 225, 1956. And that's the guitar that inspired the whole project. Okay. I got a friend of mine who buys and sells guitars, and he came to my place with it, and I didn't have the money to buy it, so he organized a solo show in Drummondville in exchange for the guitar.
Okay.
So cool. He lent me the guitar. I practiced with it. I got a show together, did the show. And then 3 weeks after, I released an album that flopped completely. So in order to pay the bills, I was like, well, I did the solo show, and it was fun. I'll do some more of that. And I was like, well, I got a studio. I might as well record these tracks, and just sell it at those solo shows. And I thought I'd do that for about a year and get the band back together, But that really worked well, and it really gave my career a boost. And I thought I'd do it for a year, and I did it for 10 years, But it was really those Gibsons with one P90s. Yeah. It's a really good sound, and you can get, it's a single coil, so it's got it's got some twang, not as much as a telly, but it still has some of it,
And it's a P90 that's not right up here, it's kind of
on the 225s, it's in the middle.
So, that's it. Yeah.
And then I switched to the Junior. I got a 59 Junior that I love. It's got a P90 here. Very fat sound, but it still has twang. Yeah. And I've tried to find other juniors that have that twang, and I could never find one. Okay. I bought a bunch of them. I sold them all. Yeah. It's the only one that yellow one that I got. It's a TV yellow. It's got that P90 sound, but it's got a twang that you usually don't have on a Gibson.
Yeah. When I have two pickups, I just systematically use this. Okay. Unless I want to pretend I'm Freddie King or pretend I'm somebody else. But to be myself, I just systematically go to that because I guess I'm just used to arch tops. Well, and I'm used to always being on that one. And most of my arch tops just have one there.
The thing is, it's really hard to get a good sound on those two pickups. That's what I find on any guitar.
If you have both two
pickups,
together?
No, separately. If you want to have a good sound here, you're going to have too much treble on the other pickup. And if you want to have a big sound on the treble pickup, this one's going to sound like
in terms of how you set your amp and everything, it would be
Except some guitars, like I've played a 53 Les Paul, perfectly balanced. A friend of mine's got a 58 Strat.
Yeah.
You can play any pickup. It sounds very well balanced, but it's hard to find.
Okay.
I find.
So I'm gonna try to do a little bit of your technique.
Okay.
I'd like to. So you're keeping your thumb pretty much here. And you're using all of these fingers, all three.
Yeah.
Are you using one per string, or just whatever feels right in the moment?
It's like this. So if I'm doing, then I switch there. You know the
Oh, I see. I think that's what fascinates me the most. That's me at 17 years old. But that's cool. Cool, man. Thank you
so much more volume with a pick.
Yeah. It's really neat to hear you play with the pick, and I can hear the Charlie Christian that you checked.
I was trying to put a few licks in there.
Yeah, that's really nice.
The 3 or 4 jazz licks that I know.
Well, thanks a lot, Steve.
This was a lot of fun, Jordan.
It was really sweet having you. I really appreciate it. I'm touched that you accepted. I'm really happy to have been able to hear Steve Hill play with the pick. That was amazing. After all these years of wanting to do this with Steve, of both of our careers evolving side by side and our paths crossing here and there, it's actually the first time that we sat down and jammed together. Just that was really cool. Steve is a guitar player who's always fascinated me and interested me. I've had these questions I've wanted to ask him for a long time, so it was really cool. I'm very grateful that Steve took the time to stop by. So thanks for listening. Keep in touch, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.